Yeah.
So while you're
That's what I wanna
characterizing
hear.
things one way,
Yeah.
we're not here to create excuses.
Oh, no, I
This-
don't
this
think
is
it's
to
an
let you-
excuse. I understand that he's saying he's intoxicated. That's why he did this. Are you saying that if you were not intoxicated? All right, who is here on Alfredo Vasquez? All right, are you all ready to proceed? Is this an application?
No.
All right, Ms. Abrams, this is not an application. Court is calling 2025 CR 0000450, State versus Alfredo Vasquez Jr. Can I have parties announced?
Jason Jerry here for the state, Your Honor.
Michael Bell, Mr. Vasquez.
And are you Mr. Vasquez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Vasquez, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're waiving the enhancement paragraph since proceeding on the state jail.
No objection.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with theft of a property, $2,500 or more as a state jail felony? I'm sorry, $2,500 or more with 2 or more previous convictions. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 1 year in the state jail facility. There's a $1,000 fine and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Then to the offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit number 1 with all of its attachments.
No objection.
State you may be excused. Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
The client just asked to follow the recommendation by the state.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. And I request the therapeutic community. It doesn't increase the time that you're in custody, but it's to help you maintain your sobriety. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waived your your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
59.
All right.
I'll be 60
Oh, when?
in July.
All right, so here's the thing. You're gonna have to make a decision on whether you want to spend your birthdays, right? You can spend your birthdays in the free world, or you can spend your birthdays in and out of prison. And you're gonna get to the point where it's gonna get tiring and you're gonna find out all of your life is spent in prison. If you have a drug problem or alcohol problem, they have plenty of places that are free. When you're released, if you can't find a place, if I'm still here, you come back here, you ask me, I will pick up the phone and find a place for you, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your
You're
Honor.
welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Who is here on David Romero? Probation, this is an application. Court is calling 2025 CR 002660. State versus David Romero Jr. Can I have parties announced?
Andrew Harris Edelman for the state.
Michael DeLeon for Mr. Romero.
Are you Mr. Romero?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Romero, did you review application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the
We
indictment?
do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No judge, waiving the habitual offender enhancement allegation.
Any objection?
No objection.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4,200 grams, that's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, is there going to be an application for deferred or no?
No, Your Honor, just regular probation.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Romero, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison, and the state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
That's correct, Your Honor.
State?
Yes,
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No motions, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is asking for a TAP evaluation and that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
contained in exhibit 1 and attachments, Judge.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. There was a TAP TAP evaluation recommended, which Mr. Romero believes he's going to be fine on. We would ask the TAP evaluation be done out of custody, only because he has a job waiting for him, a break check, ready to go back at a moment's notice. He has been in custody since December 5th, 2024. So being in custody for 5 months, he's ready to get back out and back to work. And he's going to make all his appointments. I've explained that to him.
All right, do you have any children? What are their ages?
31, the youngest 21.
Do you have any grandchildren?
And that's,
And what are their ages?
the youngest one is 5 and the oldest is,
And how often were you using?
very once in a while, just
What does that mean?
maybe once a month, so.
All right. Gang affiliation?
No.
Gang affiliation while you were in prison? All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 5 years, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, field visits 1 time per month until further notice, in custody, a TAP evaluation, follow TAP recommendations, a gang evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, proof of employment within 30 days of release, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, no unsupervised contact with minors, and let me see, and restitution, if any, to SAPD for drug testing, and 60 sober meetings in 60 days. Probation, is there anything else? Yes, 1 time per month until further notice, 100. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Judge,
Yes,
if I can say, does the court know how long the TAP evaluations take?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay.
Yeah.
All
Did
right.
you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Your attorney will tell you to be successful on probation in this court, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel as though the probation officer is not addressing it, you can always come back to court. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, are the parties ready on Okura? And did you all receive the PSI was waived? Do you have witnesses? How many witnesses do you have?
We had 5, I believe we're still gonna have 5. There was one that needed to go to work.
All right, since you're going to have 5 applications.
No, Judge.
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 9989 and 2023 CR 9990, State versus Gus Gallegos. Can I have parties announced?
Robert Gallo, part of defendant.
All right, and are you Mr. Gallegos?
Yes, I am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery in each of the cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each case, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. In each case, Mr. Gallegos, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
And counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
we do, Your Honor.
And state, in each cause, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
All right, in cause number 2023 CR 9990, you're charged with the offense of criminal mischief, $2,500 to $30,000. And in the cause number 2023 CR 9989, you're charged with attempting to take a weapon from a peace officer. In each of the cause numbers, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did.
All right, each one of these cause numbers, the range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. In each cause number, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering these pleas, you were giving up those rights?
Yes,
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into pleas in these cases?
yes,
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him? And was he previously evaluated for competency?
Yes, he has been.
And has he been restored?
Yes, he has.
And do you believe he was sane at the time of the offense? Mr. Gallegos, in each of the cause numbers, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no,
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
yes,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
yes,
In each cause number, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. In each cause number, did you review the plea bargain page?
yes,
According to your plea, punishment is to be assessed under 1244 to 1 year in the Bear County Jail. There's $1,000 fine in the cases where we're on concurrently and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that cannot be that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, there be any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to each cause, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State, any evidence?
Stand in Exhibit 1 and attachments, Judge.
Objection, Judge.
All right, and state, have you spoken to any of the complainants?
That I do not know, Judge.
All right, thank you. State, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I do.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. And each cause number, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty in each cause number. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Please, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Only ask that you follow the plea bargain set recommended by the state. We are in agreement.
And cause number ending in 9989, the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. Give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with 2023 CR 990. And cause number 2023 CR 990, the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, give you credit for any time served, and that will be sentenced under 1244. And this will run concurrent with 2023 CR 9989. And each of the cause numbers, did you review the documents entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
And each cause number, because these are plea bargain agreements, and because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, sir. It appears that you have issues with mental health, right?
Yes, I do understand that.
All right, so you're gonna have to make sure you stay on top of that, because otherwise you're gonna keep picking up cases and you may end up doing something major. This is major, of course, but there's always things that are worse.
Something's
And
prevented.
yes, so when you're released from custody, you need to go to the Center for Healthcare Services. When you're released, if you can't find a place to go to help you with your mental health, come back here. I will pick up the phone. Make sure you get some mental health treatment, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you,
Can I
sir.
ask one question?
Sure.
I mean, I understood all that you were saying for what it said, but does that mean release, automatic release?
No, what will end up happening is, because you were sentenced to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, the clerk's gonna calculate. If you have a year in the Bexar County Jail, you're gonna be released. Now,
Right.
if, I don't know how much time you have.
Okay.
If you are planning on getting 2 for 1, which means for every day you serve, you get credit for 2, I'm not in charge of your receiving 2 for 1 or 3 for 1.
Okay.
That's something that the sheriff does and the sheriff's department. So what I can tell you is the most time you will have to serve is 1 year, but all the time that you've been in custody will count towards that 1 year. All
So
right?
it's already been issued. It just needs to.
But your attorney will have to
Okay,
speak to you about it.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I understand now. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
It's a new number 1 offense.
Okay.
I'm just becoming aware of that. I need to look into that in discovery. Mr. Garahan was very nice to provide me with an offense report,
Mhm.
but there should be some surveillance video and or statements taken that I haven't seen yet. In fact, I don't even know if I'm appointed on that case.
All right, Norma, if you can make sure that Mr. DeLeon is on the new number 1, and then we can recall this. You want to recall it for the week of May 19th?
It sounds pretty good, Judge. I'm gonna be back in here on, how about May 19th? Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, you can put this down for May 19th for discovery. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Okura. Bye. Drive safely. Court is calling 2024 CR 011095. State versus Luis Fernando Akura. Can I have parties announced?
Hector Rogers Jr. for the defense.
And are you Mr. Akura?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you all waived PSI in this case. I took a plea of no contest from you to count one on March 17th, and it was originally set for April 10th for sentencing, but then there were other issues. I believe the court was in trial or attorneys were in trial. And so now it's being called today for sentencing. Are both parties ready to proceed, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense.
We are.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. The state is going to be silent on your application for deferred adjudication. Taken in consideration was NIMAG number 760070. All right. So defense, do you have any witnesses?
We do, Your Honor. We have 6 total.
All right, you may call your first witness.
We'd like to start with Dulce Okura.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Ms. Dulce Okura.
All right, so I'm going to need you to make sure that you keep your voice up because the court reporter needs to hear and I need to hear, okay?
Okay.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Ms. Dulce, how are you familiar with
He's my nephew.
and so clearly you've known him all your life.
Correct.
Now, how often do you interact with him?
Very often I see them like every week.
Okay, how would you describe him?
He is a very affable and dependable person. So when you need assistance, like he'll be there to help you.
Okay, now, he's only 18 years old.
Mhm.
How would you describe him through high school?
Through high school, I know he was very into like computers. So he was taking like computer courses. So I know he was doing that as well as.
Just one moment, excuse me.
Is that microphone on?
Yeah.
Here,
Do you need it on or off?
might just need, can you put this mic on your, look, thank you.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, and I'm having a hard time hearing you. If you could just speak up a little bit.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start over. So I've just sworn you in.
Mhm.
State your name for the record.
Okay, my name is Dulce Okura.
Defense.
So, how do you know this?
He's my nephew.
And so you totally.
All right, and let me just tell you, it will probably help. I know you're turning that way because you're speaking to him, but don't turn your back to the court reporter. If you just face forward to me, everybody can hear. Thank you, Bashan.
And so you've known Lee his entire life.
Correct.
How often do you interact?
Every week.
And can you describe the typical interaction that you have?
Yes, well, depending on the week, sometimes we'll go out and like family gatherings, or I'll take him out to like certain stores, so we'll hang out.
Now, I had asked you if you could describe him through high school.
Yeah, so through high school, from my knowledge, he was into computers, so he was taking like computer courses. Personality wise, he's been the same throughout since I've known him, since he was little. And as he grew up, same affable person, dependable person.
Now, how would you describe this person?
The same thing, affable, dependable. He provides assistance when you need him, very charismatic.
Now, you understand that you're here because of the assault that he caused,
Correct.
or that he was involved with.
Yes.
Now, and what was your first impression when you learned of the situation?
I was shocked and upset. I've never expected that to happen.
Okay, now, were you aware that he was consuming alcohol at that time of his life?
No.
Okay, now, he was 17 when the incident happened. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay, and you weren't aware that he was drinking?
I had heard about it like once prior, but that was the only time I heard about it.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to speak to him about what happened after?
Yes.
And can you describe how that conversation went?
Yes. When I spoke to him, I spoke with him with my mother, with his grandmother. We explained to him that what he did was something that, he should reflect on, because it's gonna affect his life then moving forward, and that we're there to help him whenever he needs assistance, and if he needs to talk to someone, like he has us to speak with.
Okay. Now, you say you were shocked when this happened.
Mhm.
Had he ever exhibited any kind of behavior prior to the incident that would lead you to believe that he would have done something?
No, that's the reason why I was shocked, because I've never, imagined that he would do something like this.
Okay. Now, you said that you all spoke to him about supporting him if he needed any help. And equally that you've told him this is going to affect his life.
Mhm.
So is it fair to say then that you've pretty much obligated him to accept and acknowledge what he's done?
Correct, because it's not gonna go away. It's something that he did and something he has to reflect on.
Now, in the event that this court allows him to do deferred probation, he's gonna have a lot of hoops to jump through. You understand that?
Yes.
And what would you express to the court that you would do for him to make certain that he completes his probation successfully?
Well, depending on, his probation, I will make sure that he completes it. If he needs to go somewhere a certain day, we'll make sure that someone's there available for him. So someone will be available for him like anytime he needs.
And now, in the event that you were to witness Luis start slipping, or start drinking, or start doing the things that he shouldn't be, are you prepared to report him to his probation officer or to this court to let them know that he's messing up?
Yes.
Would you be prepared to hold him accountable in the event that he messes up?
Yes, he'll always be held accountable.
I have nothing to say.
All right, any questions?
Just briefly, Ms. Okura, so Mr. Okura is your nephew, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I guess it sounds like you guys have a pretty close knit family, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and so I guess my question to you is what would be the difference between now and when the offense was committed? Because it sounds like you guys have been there for him throughout his high school and life. So what would be the difference between then and now?
Well, the difference is that now he's staying in in our household, because he before was like half and half, like half with his mother, half with his our family. So now he's with us and there's always someone at home, so we always know where he is and what he's doing.
Okay, so when you say now that he's in your household, that means that he's living with you and your mother,
He's living with my brother because I moved out, but he's not my brother.
and your brother's his father?
Yes.
Okay, and before that, you're saying he was living with his mother?
Well, half and half. So
Oh,
would be,
okay.
like one week there and one week
Okay, so you feel like with your brother and you being there and your mom as well, you would be
Mhm.
able to hold him more accountable than when he was going with his mom?
correct. And my mother keeps like a tight hold on where he's at, always asking like where he's at, calling him. Yes.
Okay, no further questions, Judge.
All right, I have a question. So where did his go wrong? Why are we here? That's what I want to know, if you know, or have any ideas.
I don't. What I told him is like if he has any problems, he has like his family, he has, me, my brothers to talk to, so we can walk him through like something better than for him to go down the path of like drinking or doing anything that, shouldn't be done. There's better recourses if people have problems.
Anything else?
Nothing for that.
All right, thank you so much for coming down.
I'll take it. Thank you.
I'll call your next witness.
We call Domingo Okura.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, please. State your name for the record.
Domingo Cura Jr.
All right, defense?
Thank you. Now, Domingo, how are you familiar with Luis?
He's my nephew,
Okay. Now, where do you currently reside?
and with my brother at the house.
Okay.
With Luis.
All right, and so you live in your brother's house.
Yes.
Now, is the house a pretty big house?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, and so everybody has enough space, has their own room.
Yeah, we all have our own.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna ask you a lot of the same questions I asked Ruth. How would you describe Luis?
I mean, I still see him as like my little nephew. So he's always been honest, upfront. If he needs to say something, he'll ask, or very respectful too. So all this kind of came as a surprise.
Okay. Now, how would you describe him through high school?
I mean, I know he had his close group friends, so we would always talk to them, kind of active with them, like playing video games, so like team games.
Okay. What was your reaction when you learned of the incident that happened?
Surprised. You know, everything that kind of led up to that, his upbringing, high school, none of that led to what happened on that day. So no one expected it. Didn't know that was going to be happening.
Prior to that incident, had you seen any signs of him that would have led you to believe that he would have assaulted someone?
No.
Now, were you aware that he was consuming alcohol during those times when the incident happened?
No, no.
Okay. Now, the judge had asked, Booth said, and I'll ask you now, do you have any idea what went wrong that day or leading up to that day that would have caused him to do what he did?
No, I don't know what went wrong. How led up to that day?
Okay. How often do you interact with Lee?
Almost every day.
Okay, well, so what is your work schedule?
I go in at 12 p.m. and I get out at 11 p.m.
Okay, so do y'all see each other daily?
In the mornings, and then if I get up and I get home, sometimes I'll be out. So
Okay, so I'll ask you, going forward, now unfortunately, we're at this situation. How do you intend to help Luis stay on track with what he's supposed to do?
I am off Fridays, Friday through Sunday. So on those days, I will be able to help out in the mornings if I do see him. You know, we do talk in the morning, so hopefully we'll be able to open up and be able to talk about anything that he needs to talk about.
Okay, have you had an opportunity to talk to him about the situation?
Yes.
And how did that conversation go?
I mean, I did let him know that what he did already happened. He does have to reflect on it and kind of think about why he did it and what he's going to do different going forward. We can't change the past. We can just kind of learn from there and see what we can do going forward.
Okay, and in the event that he were to start slipping or going off the rails, so to speak, are you prepared to inform his probation officer or this court and report him for not doing what he's supposed to be doing?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you heard the questions to your sister about you all sound like a really tight family, especially living in the big house. Any ideas of things that you would say you could do that you didn't do in the past to better stay in communication with Luis to make certain that this doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I can be a little bit more open, you know, be more available for him. I felt like I was available for him before, but again, everything caught us by surprise and I didn't wasn't expecting that. So if he does need something, I want him to know that we are.
Okay. Well, Pastor.
Mr. Okuda, are you familiar with the facts of the case at all, or just that an assault occurred?
I'm aware of that. So
So, I mean, the defendant has explained to you how it happened.
he had brought a case, so we brought some documents over and I was reading over it.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, could you speak up a little bit? I missed your answer.
Okay, so you're aware that, I mean, what was reported is that there were two homeless people that Mr. Okuda approached for no reason, and he retrieved a metal pole and assaulted one of them so bad that he had to go to the hospital.
No, may I have a quick second?
Sure.
Okay, so one person that was hit with a metal pole and had to go to the hospital.
Yes, I was.
Okay. And so I guess it's your testimony that that's kind of out of character for him.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess what exactly would you be able to do besides talking to him? That would be able to help him comply with the terms of his probation if this court grants him probation.
Well, my job isn't super flexible, but it is understanding. Like today, I did ask for PTO. I did go over that time. It was only till 3 p.m. I did inform them of what's going on. So they do understand what's going on. That's why it's what's happening here. Not too much detail, but if something does come up where I need to take them somewhere, and something needs to be done, I'll be able to for him.
Okay. And I know you testified that you kind of spoke with Mr. Okuda and you told him what happened is something that he needs to reflect on, but do you think that he needs to be held accountable for his actions?
Yeah, some sort of kind of.
Okay. We pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, any further questions?
No.
All right, thank you so much for coming in.
Okay, thank you.
Call your next witness.
Desiree Okuda.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me? Oh, I'm sorry, they have a microphone for the court reporter. Would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Desiree Cura.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Okay. And Mr. Okuda, how are you related to Luis?
He is my stepson.
Okay, and you live in the same home that he does?
Yes.
And so can you describe your daily interactions with him?
Oh, I see him every day.
Okay, mornings?
Usually in the morning, he's waiting for his dad to go to work. And then in the evening, I work an 8 to 5 job. So I always see him when I'm done with work.
Okay, you all speak in the evening?
Yes.
Okay, how would you describe your relationship with Luis?
It's great. I mean, we, play family games together. We laugh, we talk, just cook, eat.
Now, how would you describe Luis in high school?
In high school, he loved to play video games. He was very into electronics, computers. He was still open, funny.
Now, grade-wise, how did you do in school?
I'm not too sure about his grades. I never really asked him questions like that, like what his grades were. Because I know he was like back and forth with his parents and stuff, so I didn't ask him
Okay.
that.
Now, leading up to the incident that happened, did you see anything in his behavior or his personality that would have changed that lead you to believe that something could be wrong?
No, not at all.
And what was your first reaction when you learned of this?
I was shocked and disappointed.
Disappointed, why?
Because I know that he knows the difference between right and wrong, and that was something that he shouldn't have been doing, but completely not in his character to do so.
Okay. Now, were you aware that he was drinking or consuming alcohol at the time, either maybe a little before or sometime before the incident happened?
I only knew about it because my husband and I talked, about everything. So he had told me that about that night, but not prior.
Okay. And you were asked, are you aware of what happened at the incident or what Luis did?
I just know some vague details. I don't know everything.
Okay. And you're not sure if you heard earlier, but you were aware, so you were not aware that he assaulted a homeless person?
I knew about that, but only because of speaking to my husband.
Okay. Now, going forward, what would you say you could bring to Luis to make sure that he stays on the right path and that he is successful with probation in the event that this court grants him probation?
In my job, I do have the flexibility to leave at any point in time. So if there was ever something, that he needed, whether it was a phone call because he's, feeling depressed or sad or anything, he knows that he can always call me. I can leave at any time. So if there's any appointments that he needs to go to, I can always be there for him. And I feel like I bring a different perspective, being a step parent. I'm kind of like in middle Switzerland, kind of seeing both sides of the spectrum.
Now, you said that he used to be really open. Have you seen a difference in his personality since this has happened?
I feel like he's opened up a lot more. He's always out talking and funny and laughing and
Okay. Now, have you had an opportunity to talk to him about the incident?
no.
Okay. Have you all had an opportunity to talk about how he feels now past the incident and having to deal with all the legal stuff?
Yes.
And how would you describe that conversation?
I know he feels remorseful, and I know he knows that what he did was wrong. But he knows he needs to stay on the right path.
Okay. And what could you share with this court that you would do to make certain that Luis stays on the right path and is successful in probation if the court were to grant him probation?
I know that he would make sure that he follows all of the rules of the probation and make sure that if there was any check-ins that he needed to do or anything like that, that he would obey by them. And if I felt that he was not obeying by them or anything, I would not have a problem contacting somebody and letting them know.
Okay, well, you kind of took my last question. We'll pass the witness.
Just really quickly, Ms. Okuda, you stated in the mornings, your stepson, he waits for his dad. Do they work together or?
Yes.
Okay, and what do they do for work?
My husband owns his company. He does HVAC and construction, so his son helps him.
Okay, about how long has he, or has your stepson been doing?
I would say since high school.
Okay. Now regarding your household, I mean, do you keep alcohol in your household?
No, not really.
Okay, so do you know where Mr. Okuda consumed the alcohol that he was under the influence of on the night of the offense?
No.
Okay, and I mean, if this court were to grant probation in this case, would you be prepared to not have alcohol in your home?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. We pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you.
All right, call your next witness.
Azriel Barrios.
All right, if you'll wear the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Actually, yes.
You just want to hold it, he can hold it. All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Azrael Barrios.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you. Now, Azriel, how do you know Luis?
He's my friend from school
And how long have you known him?
since the 7th grade.
7th grade?
Yes.
And how would you describe Luis? If somebody asked you, hey man, tell me about him, paint me a picture of Luis.
Very caring, and he's always just there for you whenever you need him.
Now, do y'all go to high school together?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and where did y'all go to school?
Thomas Edison High School.
All right. Now, how often would you see Luis?
Every day. and
Okay.
lunch.
Did y'all speak during school and after school?
Yes.
All right. Now, you learned of the incident that happened.
Mhm.
What was your first impression when you heard about it?
Mainly disappointed in him
Why would you say that?
because it's just not the kind of person he is.
Now, he was with somebody else when this happened.
Yes.
Were you familiar with who that other person was?
Hardly.
Okay, but you knew of him.
Yes, I know about.
And how did you feel about that person?
I never really stuck around him because I know what kind of person he was, but I don't know. I just never really got around him much.
Did you ever share any of that with Luis?
Yes.
And how did those conversations go?
He understood me a lot.
Okay. Now, did you know that he was drinking alcohol about the time that the incident happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever talk to him about why he was drinking?
No.
Now, the incident happened, or let me ask you, y'all both graduated high school?
Yes.
And so what are you doing now?
Right now I'm unemployed, but currently trying to get into dental assistance.
Okay. And what part of town do you live in?
Right near North Star Mall.
Okay. And where does Lisa live at?
Marlboro? Off Marlboro.
Okay, so y'all are a pretty good distance away from each other. Do y'all still stay in contact now?
Yes, every day.
Okay, so you speak to him every day?
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to talk to him about the incident?
Yes.
And can you describe how that conversation went?
I was just like asking him why he would do something like that, and he said he would like he don't know what got into him that day.
Okay. Did you see any signs in him that would have led you to believe that he was potentially gonna do something like that?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, going forward from this point, well, from the incident till now, would you say that you've seen any kind of difference in him?
Yes, he's more self-aware, I guess.
Okay. And going forward, would you be there to help him and make sure that he stays on track with probation in the event that this court grants him probation?
Yes, sir.
And how would you contend to do that?
Well, from the start, I've pretty much been on top of what he's done before. So I'll continue doing it.
Okay, and in the event that you were to learn that he was doing something wrong or stepping on, going off the rail, so to speak, would you be ready to report him either to this court or his probation officer?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any problem holding him accountable, not just for what he's done, but to pay his debt to society, so to speak, through the probation?
Yes, sir.
We'll pass the witness.
Mr. Barrios, so if I'm understanding correctly, you're aware of the person that Mr. Okuda was hanging out with on the night that the assault occurred. Okay, and you had previously talked to him about how you thought this person was a bad influence, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so Mr. Okuda still chose to hang out with that person after you
Yes.
spoke with him?
After the incident, he really never
Spoke with that
spoke with him
person, okay.
often, yeah.
So I mean, if he didn't listen to you back then when you were trying to deter him from hanging out with this person, do you think if he was granted probation and he was messing up that he would listen to you now?
Yes,
What's the difference between now and then?
because he knows that I'm always like there for him, I guess, since I'm doing this.
Okay. We passed the witness, Judge.
All right, any further questions?
Nothing further.
All right, thank you so much. I'll call your next witness.
Priscilla Galindo.